There comes a moment in your life when silence becomes your strength. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you finally understand what truly deserves your energy. Peace is not something that simply appears in your life. It's something you choose, something you protect, and something you build quietly, slowly, intentionally, especially after you've been hurt. Many people think choosing peace means giving up, being passive, or avoiding conflict. But the truth is the complete opposite. Choosing peace is one of the strongest decisions you will ever make. Because peace requires discipline. It requires self-awareness. It requires courage. And sometimes, it requires walking away from the very things you once prayed would stay. In this chapter of your life, you may notice you're becoming softer on the outside but stronger on the inside. You no longer chase validation. You no longer try to convince someone to see your worth. You no longer stay where your soul feels tired. That is not weakness. That is healing. There was a time when you tolerated too much. You apologized for things that were never your fault. You tried to be easy to love, easy to keep, easy to understand. But all that effort only drained you. Not because you weren't enough, but because you were giving everything to places that never knew how to give back. Healing begins the day you decide, I deserve better than this. I deserve peace. And the moment that realization lands in your heart, everything starts to shift. You communicate differently. You choose differently. You breathe differently. You love yourself differently. Choosing peace often looks like not replying right away, because you value clarity over reaction. Saying no without guilt. Leaving conversations that feel heavy. Walking away from relationships where you feel unseen. Making space for people who bring calm instead of chaos. Loving yourself even when no one else understands your choices. And yes, choosing peace sometimes hurts. Because peace often requires distance. It requires letting go of familiar places, familiar people, familiar patterns. It requires grieving parts of yourself you once used to survive. It requires accepting that some doors will close, and they're meant to. But listen, every time you choose peace over chaos, you build a new version of yourself. A softer version. A braver version. A wiser version. Peace is not the absence of noise. Peace is what stays even when life gets loud. Peace is knowing your worth. Trusting your intuition. Forgiving yourself. Breathing through the pain. Staying calm when everything feels uncertain. Believing that better days will come. One day, you will look back and see that every quiet decision you made created a new path for you. A path where your heart feels lighter. A path where you are no longer controlled by fear. A path where your soul finally gets to rest. You don't have to rush this journey. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to pretend you're okay all the time. Healing is not a straight line, it's a gentle unfolding. On the days you feel tired, choose rest. On the days you feel lost, choose patience. On the days you feel unloved, choose yourself again. Every small choice matters. Because peace is a practice. And one day, you'll wake up and realize the version of you who once begged to be understood has now become the version of you who quietly protects your energy and trusts that the right people will understand without forcing it. The version of you who once feared being alone now feels safe in your own company. The version of you who once tried to save everything now knows that not everything is meant to be saved. This is your growth. This is your turning point. This is your rise. And if you're listening to this today, please remember, you deserve a peaceful life. You deserve people who make you feel safe. You deserve a heart that feels light. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't make you doubt yourself. Your peace is worth protecting. Even if it requires distance. Even if it requires silence. Even if it requires starting over. This is your reminder. Choose peace. Choose yourself. And let your life bloom quietly. If this message brings you comfort, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs healing today. Your support helps these peaceful messages reach more hearts. Yellow heart.